There is something profoundly powerful about quiet growth in a world that constantly demands noise. Loud declarations, immediate results, instant recognition. Silent progress seems almost revolutionary. Yet, this subtle, unwavering growth is perhaps the most impactful of all. In the race to show the world what we are capable of, we often forget that true transformation doesn't need to be announced. The most powerful changes take place in solitude. They begin quietly, without the applause, without the need to prove something to others. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to become disheartened. We live in a time where validation is sought at every turn. Social media, success stories, influencers, they all paint a picture of what success looks like, often demanding that we rush towards the finish line. But what if growth wasn't about reaching that finish line as fast as possible? What if it was about the journey, the quiet moments, the internal victories no one else sees? True growth isn't measured by the recognition of others, but by the transformation you see in yourself. It is about showing up for yourself, even when no one is watching. Growth begins when you decide to walk your path, to follow your vision, and to trust the process, even when the results aren't immediate. You don't need to shout about your journey, because the results will speak for themselves. Your growth will be seen not in the loud declarations you make, but in the way you carry yourself, in the way you handle challenges, and in the way you show up each day with more determination. There's a reason why silence holds so much power. While the world rushes to show their success, to post every achievement, there's an unseen beauty in those who work diligently in silence. It's the quiet perseverance that leads to real growth. In the noise of validation and applause, silence becomes the perfect space for true transformation. Growth isn't always glamorous. It doesn't come with grand announcements or viral moments. It often starts in the stillness, when you're alone, facing your own challenges. You see, true growth happens in the small, quiet moments. It's in the hours spent alone, pushing through fatigue, fighting your inner battles. It's in those times when you make the choice to continue, even when the external world doesn't recognize your struggle. The real test of your growth is not how loud you can proclaim your progress, but how deeply you've anchored yourself to the journey, even when no one is watching. In a world that prizes quick fixes and overnight success, it's easy to forget that growth is a process. It's messy, uncomfortable, and often unseen. But it's in this quiet persistence that we become who we are meant to be. It's in the moments when you choose not to quit, when you face your fears and move forward regardless of the circumstances, that you truly evolve. Growth is not a sprint, but a marathon. It's about pacing yourself, about trusting the journey, and understanding that progress takes time. In a world obsessed with instant results, we often forget that true growth is a slow, steady process. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work behind the scenes without expecting immediate rewards. Patience is the key. When you're growing quietly, there's a natural temptation to look around and compare your progress to others. It's easy to feel discouraged when you see others racing ahead, seemingly with ease. But what you don't see is the work they've put in, the sacrifices they've made, and the struggles they've overcome. Just because you don't see the progress immediately doesn't mean it isn't happening. Trust the process. Stay committed to your path, even when the results seem distant. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to the person you are becoming. Keep going, even when it feels like the world isn't noticing. The quiet work you're doing now will soon become impossible to ignore. No one talks about the strength that comes from overcoming adversity. The world loves to highlight success, but the real power lies in the struggles we face along the way. Growth happens in the most difficult moments. The moments when everything seems to be falling apart. When life pushes you to your limits. When you're faced with obstacles that seem insurmountable, it's in these moments that you're forced to grow. When things get tough, it's easy to want to quit, to throw in the towel, to walk away. But true growth is found when you face these challenges head on. It's about being resilient in the face of hardship, about finding the strength to keep going when you're exhausted. The most powerful transformations come from these moments of adversity. These are the moments that shape you, that push you to become the person you were meant to be. When you look back, you'll realize that the struggles you went through were not obstacles, but stepping stones. They were the challenges that allowed you to build the resilience, wisdom, and strength necessary to achieve greatness. True growth is when you no longer need external validation. It's when you stop seeking approval from others and start seeking approval from yourself. When you rely on your own sense of worth, your own sense of direction, your own internal compass, that's when you unlock the true power of growth. So much of our lives are spent trying to impress others, to meet the expectations of those around us. But the reality is, no one's opinion matters more than your own. Growth happens when you stop looking outside of yourself for validation and start looking within. You are enough just as you are. You don't need anyone else to tell you that you're doing well. You know it within yourself because you can feel it in your bones. When you no longer need anyone else's approval, you free yourself to truly evolve. You stop worrying about what others think and start focusing on what truly matters. Your own growth, your own journey, your own purpose. Your transformation won't always be visible at first. You may feel like you're putting in the work and not getting the recognition you deserve. You may question whether it's all worth it. But here's the truth: real transformation doesn't need to be visible immediately. Sometimes, the most powerful changes happen behind the scenes. They happen in the quiet moments when you're working on yourself, even when no one else notices. The beauty of quiet transformation is that it's deep. It's not just about changing your actions, it's about changing the way you think, the way you feel, the way you show up in the world. It's the internal shifts that lead to the most significant changes. These shifts may not be obvious at first, but they are happening. And when the time comes, when the results are undeniable, you look back and realize that all the quiet work you did was what led you to this moment. Growth is often a battle within yourself. It's about confronting the fears, doubts, and insecurities that hold you back. And often these struggles are invisible to the outside world. No one sees the late nights, the inner turmoil, or the moments of self-doubt. No one sees the battles you fight when the world isn't watching. But these battles are essential. They shape your character, your resilience, and your strength. The real transformation happens when you face these internal struggles head on. It's in these moments of self-confrontation that you learn who you truly are. When you push through the discomfort, when you challenge your limiting beliefs, when you choose growth over stagnation, that's when true change occurs. And though others may not see the work you're doing, it doesn't make it any less valuable. Sometimes, the hardest part of growth is accepting that no one will recognize the struggle. But that's okay. You are not doing this for recognition. You are doing this for yourself. Keep going even when no one else sees. The quiet battles you win will lay the foundation for the success that's to come. One of the most underrated aspects of growth is consistency. It's easy to get excited about big changes and sudden breakthroughs. But real growth is built on the small, consistent actions you take every day. It's the habits you form, the decisions you make, and the work you put in when no one is watching. Consistency doesn't require recognition. It doesn't need applause. It just needs commitment. The power of consistency lies in its ability to compound over time. Every small step you take toward your goal, no matter how insignificant it may seem in the moment, brings you one step closer to the person you want to become. And while the results may not be immediate, trust that every effort you make is contributing to the bigger picture. The beauty of consistent growth is that it's sustainable. Unlike bursts of motivation or temporary changes, consistency creates long-lasting transformation. Keep showing up day after day. It may feel like nothing is changing at first, but the results will speak for themselves. Doubt and fear are the two biggest obstacles to growth. They creep into your mind, telling you that you're not good enough, that you can't do it, that it's too hard. They whisper that you should quit, that you're not cut out for success. And for a moment, you may believe them. But growth happens when you choose to ignore those doubts and fears, to keep moving forward despite them. Fear often holds us back from taking the next step. It makes us hesitant to take risks, to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones. But true growth comes from confronting that fear, from choosing courage over comfort. It's in the moments when you're afraid, yet you still take action, that your growth accelerates. Fear may never go away completely, but you can learn to work through it, to keep going even when you feel scared. When you silence the doubts in your mind and take consistent action, you build resilience. You learn that fear doesn't control you. It's a signal that you're stepping into new territory, and it's in this new territory that the most profound growth occurs. Personal growth is a lifelong journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a process that requires patience, persistence, and dedication. In a world that values instant gratification, it's easy to forget that growth takes time. But when you trust the process, when you commit to your own evolution, the results will come. There will be times when you feel like you're not making any progress. There will be days when you question whether it's worth it, when the road seems too long and too difficult. But this is the time when your patience will be tested. Growth happens in the moments when you don't see immediate rewards. It happens in the times when you feel like giving up, but choose to keep going anyway. Trust that every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your goal. Growth isn't linear. It's full of ups and downs, successes and failures. But if you keep showing up, if you keep trusting the process, you will see the fruits of your labor. Your growth is worth the wait. One of the most powerful aspects of growth is the inner peace that comes with it. As you evolve, you begin to understand that peace doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from within. True growth means finding peace, even when the world around you is chaotic. It means learning to be content with yourself, regardless of what's happening in the outside world. Inner peace is not something that can be achieved overnight. It's a result of consistent growth, of aligning yourself with your true values, and of letting go of the things that no longer serve you. When you find peace within yourself, nothing can shake you. You become unshakable. No matter what obstacles you face, no matter how much chaos surrounds you, you are grounded in your own sense of purpose. This inner peace is the foundation of all other forms of growth. It allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and confidence. And when you have peace within, you radiate it outward. Your growth becomes a source of calm and strength for others. There is a quiet strength in being unnoticed. In a world that thrives on visibility and recognition, it's easy to believe that if you aren't being seen, you're not making an impact. But the truth is, some of the strongest growth happens in the unseen moments. It happens when you work tirelessly behind closed doors, without seeking recognition or validation. It happens when you build your character, refine your skills, and push through your fears, even when no one is there to cheer you on. Being unseen is not a weakness, it's a powerful tool for transformation. It allows you to focus solely on your growth, without the distraction of seeking approval from others. In the silence, you have the freedom to be authentic, to challenge yourself, and to grow in ways that are true to you. The world may not see your struggle, but it will eventually see your results. Your growth doesn't need to be broadcasted for it to matter. It will speak for itself in time. And when the world does finally take notice, it will be because you've stayed true to yourself, trusted the process, and kept going even when no one was watching. Growth requires self-reflection, the ability to look inward, to examine your actions, thoughts, and emotions. It's in these quiet moments of reflection that you gain clarity, that you discover what truly matters, and that you identify the changes you need to make. Self-reflection is an essential part of growth because it allows you to course correct, to learn from your mistakes, and to make conscious choices moving forward. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life, to focus on external goals and outcomes. But true growth happens when you slow down and take the time to reflect on your journey. It's when you pause and ask yourself hard questions. What do I really want? What's holding me back? What do I need to change about myself to become the person I want to be? This introspection is the foundation for transformation. It allows you to identify patterns, break through limiting beliefs, and step into the highest version of yourself. Self-reflection is a quiet process, but its impact is profound. Through it, you discover the wisdom to navigate life's challenges and the courage to pursue your dreams with clarity and confidence. The need for external validation is a powerful force. We seek approval from others, wanting to be recognized for our achievements, our hard work, and our success. But true growth comes when we learn to let go of this need. When we stop seeking validation from others, we unlock a level of freedom that is essential for transformation. External validation is fleeting. It comes and goes, often leaving us feeling empty or dissatisfied. But when you learn to validate yourself, when you recognize your own worth and your own progress, you no longer rely on others to tell you that you're doing well. Your growth becomes a personal journey, not one dependent on the approval of others. This shift in perspective is transformative. It frees you from the constant cycle of seeking approval, allowing you to focus solely on your own growth. When you validate yourself, you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough just as you are. And this self-assurance becomes the foundation for lasting success. Growth requires courage, the courage to evolve, to change, to step into the unknown. It's easy to stay where you are, to remain in your comfort zone, where things feel safe and familiar. But true transformation happens when you take the leap into the unknown, when you embrace the discomfort of change, and when you trust that the process will guide you towards something greater. The courage to evolve comes from within. It's the willingness to shed old beliefs, old habits, and old patterns that no longer serve you. It's the bravery to let go of what's familiar, even when it's hard. Growth requires you to step into new territory, to try things you've never done before, and to take risks you never thought possible. This courage is what propels you forward. It's the fuel that keeps you going when fear tries to hold you back. And while the journey may be difficult, the rewards are immeasurable. The courage to evolve is what enables you to grow into the person you were always meant to be. Growth is not just about achieving a goal, it's about discovering the purpose behind the journey. When you connect with your purpose, everything changes. Your work becomes more meaningful, your struggles more bearable, and your growth more fulfilling. Purpose gives you direction, motivation, and the strength to keep going, even when things get tough. Purpose isn't something that can be found overnight. It's discovered through experience, through trial and error, through reflection and introspection. It's found when you look inward and ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What do I want to contribute to the world? When you connect with your purpose, you align yourself with your highest potential, and your growth becomes a natural extension of that purpose. Purpose makes growth meaningful. It transforms the process from a series of tasks into a journey of self-discovery and fulfillment. And when you find your purpose, you will find the strength to overcome any obstacle, to persevere through any challenge, and to achieve a level of growth you never thought possible. Growth is often painful. It requires us to let go of old ways of thinking, to shed parts of ourselves that no longer serve us, and to face the discomfort of change. But this pain is necessary. It is the catalyst for transformation. Without discomfort, there can be no growth. The pain of growth is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced. It is through pain that we learn the most valuable lessons. It is in the moments of struggle that we build resilience, develop strength, and gain the wisdom necessary to move forward. When you embrace the pain of growth, you allow yourself to expand, to evolve, and to become the person you are meant to be. Pain is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are moving in the right direction. Growth happens when we push through the pain, when we continue on our journey, even when it feels unbearable. And in the end, the pain will give way to transformation, and you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. Growth demands resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep going after failures, and to maintain faith in yourself, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. Resilience is what keeps you moving forward when everything else tells you to stop. It's easy to give up when things don't go as planned, when you face obstacles that seem insurmountable. But true growth comes when you refuse to stay down. It's about getting back up, no matter how many times you fall. Every time you rise after a setback, you become stronger, more resilient, and more determined to succeed. Resilience is not just about surviving. It's about thriving despite the challenges. It's about finding the strength to move forward, even when the path is unclear. And it's in this resilience that you build the character, confidence, and strength necessary to achieve your goals. Success is not just about the end result. It's about the foundation you build along the way. The quiet moments of preparation, the hours of hard work, and the sacrifices you make in private are what set the stage for success. What people see, the victories, the achievements, the accomplishments, are simply the visible manifestations of a much deeper process. Behind every successful person is an untold story of countless hours spent perfecting their craft, refining their skills, and growing in ways that no one else could see. The unseen foundation of success is built on perseverance. It's built on the moments when you chose to keep going, even when no one was watching. It's the quiet hours spent practicing, learning, and growing. Success doesn't come overnight. It's the result of years of effort, often unseen, but always essential. Trust that the work you're putting in, even when no one notices, is laying the foundation for your future success. In the end, the most powerful successes are those that come from a solid foundation, one built on resilience, dedication, and quiet persistence. There is strength in solitude. In a world that constantly demands your attention, your time, and your energy, solitude can feel like a luxury. But it's in these moments of quiet that you find your true strength. It's in solitude that you reconnect with yourself, that you tap into your inner power, and that you align with your true purpose. Solitude allows you to hear your own thoughts, to understand your own desires, and to reflect on your growth. It's in these moments of stillness that you gain clarity about where you are and where you want to go. When you embrace solitude, you give yourself the space to heal, to grow, and to become the person you were always meant to be. In solitude, you are not distracted by the opinions of others. You are free to focus on your own journey. And while the world may try to pull you in a million different directions, it is in solitude that you find your true direction. Use solitude to strengthen your resolve, to deepen your self-awareness, and to align yourself with the person you are becoming. Growth often requires letting go of old habits, old beliefs, and sometimes even old relationships that no longer serve you. It can be one of the hardest things to do, especially when it feels like you're leaving behind parts of yourself. But the truth is, you cannot grow if you hold on to everything. You must be willing to release what no longer serves you in order to make room for what is coming next. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or abandoning the past. It means making space for the future. It means recognizing that the things you've outgrown are no longer a part of your journey. It takes courage to release what is familiar, to step into the unknown, and to trust that what lies ahead will be better than what you leave behind. The process of letting go is not always easy, but it is necessary. As you release what no longer serves you, you create space for new opportunities, new growth, and new possibilities. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength, of trust, and of faith in your own journey. There is a quiet confidence that comes with growth. It's not the kind of confidence that demands attention or seeks validation. It's the kind that comes from knowing who you are and what you're capable of even when no one else does. This type of confidence is built on a foundation of self-awareness, inner strength, and resilience. The more you grow, the more you begin to trust yourself. You begin to trust your decisions, your abilities, and your instincts. This quiet confidence doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be showcased for the world to see. It simply radiates from within. As you continue to grow, you will find that this quiet confidence will carry you through challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. It will be your steady companion, guiding you forward even when the path is uncertain. And when the world finally sees your success, it will be this quiet confidence that will leave the biggest impression. Growth is a process. It's not something that can be rushed, and it's not something that can be controlled. It's an unfolding journey that requires trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the path you've chosen, and trust that everything is happening as it should. The hardest part of growth is learning to trust the process, especially when things don't seem to be moving as quickly as you'd like. There will be moments when it feels like nothing is changing, when you're stuck in a rut, or when you feel like giving up. But these moments are part of the process. They are the tests that build your resilience, your patience, and your character. Trusting the process means letting go of the need for immediate results. It means having faith that every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to where you want to be. When you trust the process, you release the pressure to control every outcome, and you allow yourself to grow naturally. Trust that, in time, your efforts will pay off. Your growth is your story. It's not the story others tell about you. It's the story you tell about yourself. It's the journey you've walked, the challenges you've faced, and the person you've become along the way. While others may have opinions about your path, only you truly know the journey you've been on. Only you understand the sacrifices, the struggles, and the moments of triumph that have shaped you. Your growth is a reflection of your inner strength, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. When you look back on your journey, you will see that every obstacle, every failure, and every setback was part of the story you were meant to tell. Your growth is the greatest testament to your strength and determination. And as you continue to evolve, your story will inspire others to do the same. If you've made it this far, you've already proven something important. You're not giving up. The journey is long, but every step you take is a step closer to your dreams. Growth is not easy, and the road may seem uncertain at times, but the key is to keep going. Don't stop now. The best is yet to come. If this message resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and be sure to subscribe for more transformative content. Your growth is the most powerful thing you can nurture. Let's grow together. Keep going, even when it's hard, because you are becoming someone truly unstoppable.